Why would you tell a visitor to come to the Poconos?
If you want a true fishing experience, if you want fishing for real fish that are meant to be there in a beautiful environment, the Poconos is a place to be for sure.
Yeah.
Casting lines for another fishing season in the Poconos. Welcome to Pocono Mountains Podcast, everyone. This is Season 4, Episode 6. I'm your host, Jim Hamill. Spring is in bloom all across the region. Wildlife is back too. And so are the anglers who love to fish for trophies, for food, and for family memories. The Poconos has such a wide-ranging offering of fisheries, including the Delaware River, Lehigh and Lackawaxen rivers, plus so many lakes, ponds, creeks, and streams. Ever since trout season started, the fishing has been superb. And there's always a great guide here in the Poconos to help you find the right spot to cast your line. Deanna Fontanez caught up with Captain Joe recently for the upcoming Pocono Mountains magazine in May. More on that in a bit. The Poconos is a year-round destination for millions, with 2,400 square miles of mountains, forests, lakes, and rivers, with historic downtowns and iconic family resorts. It's the perfect getaway. You can always find out more on PoconoMountains.com or watch PTN, the Pocono Television Network, streaming live 24/7. Now, back to the episode. Whether it's a guided fishing tour, fly fishing, rod rentals, Captain Joe's will provide you with a custom-tailored fishing experience in and around Lake Harmony. Our Deanna Fontanez wanted to learn how to fly fish and went out for the day with Captain Joe recently. Here's a discussion she had during that adventure on and around the water. Enjoy.
Hey everyone, Deanna Fontanez here. So one of the things that keep fishing enthusiasts coming back to the Pocono Mountains are our amazing views, our pristine lakes, and our scenic winding rivers. Today I'm here with Captain Joe from Captain Joe's Fishing. So Joe, tell me a little bit about how you got started with fishing and how you decided to start this business.
So I've been living in the Poconos. I learned to fish here when I was 2 years old. My old man taught me how to fish. I've always just been really involved in the outdoors and bow hunting, from fly fishing in all my free time. So, it kind of seemed like a no-brainer to start this business. Yeah. And I love it. It's one of my, even guiding and working with new people every day is a passion of mine.
So you were telling me earlier you had a house here on Lake Harmony and you kind of started fishing then.
Yeah.
And then you just thought, hey, let me just start a fishing company?
Yeah. So I've always, been driving boats for people. I've been really involved I did wakeboarding lessons for a friend's business growing up. And I loved being with new people and being on a boat. So it seemed like a really good choice to start off on my own foot for sure.
So you were always in the water?
Always, yeah.
So fishing, you said you wakeboarding and all that. Why fishing?
I think there's just something about it that connects humans back to being in the outdoors. Mm-hmm. I think that we're biologically driven to want to be outside and holding weird creatures and pursuing something new every day. So that's a huge part of it for me as well.
It's definitely something, it's my first time fishing and I feel very kind of connected with nature. It's very relaxing. So
really
I see why, I see why fishermen come out here and do it. And I decided to come as a lady to try it. Yeah. So I'll be a fisherwoman, fisher lady, whatever you would say.
And something that's really cool about it as well is that you'll find today there's so many different aspects to it. And this is, like you said, really relaxing and enjoyable and peaceful method of fishing. But there's so many different facets to fishing where you could be, doing something that's heart racing and difficult and challenging, or you could be just kicking it back and enjoying the day.
Yeah, I like the relaxing part, but I'm excited for the adrenaline part too.
All right. Hopefully we can experience that.
So sure. What's the difference between, so right now we're doing the live bait. What's the difference between live to the other ones?
So live bait is essentially everybody's introduction to fishing. It's how, all kids learn and beginner fishermen. We have a live golden shiner on there. It's a native fish species to this area. And he's doing all the work for us. He's out there swimming around, attracting bigger fish. Whereas the artificial bait and fly fishing techniques are going to be much more involved, and you kind of have to work a little bit more, and it's more of a challenge, and that's where you get some of that rush.
Okay. Now, if someone's never done this before, so our viewers can't see what we're doing right now. So, we're cast out in the water, waiting for a fish. So if someone's never done it, like I've never done it before, so what tips would you give someone that might be hesitant to try?
Yeah, so there is so many ways to enter the sport really easily. And you don't as much as I'd love to get everybody out here, you're so welcome on my boat, and hiring a guide is a good idea to learn so many different techniques. But just experimenting with things, I mean, everybody's got a pond in their neighborhood and somewhere that they can learn how to fish using any method. So don't be afraid of it, just figure it out. We all started out figuring it out on our own.
So do you feel like it's easier in lakes or rivers, or like what's...
So in the Poconos, in rivers, we typically target trout, which are in this area one of the smartest fish. So for that reason, it's a little bit harder to learn in a river. But, work with what you have. If you only have a river flowing through your town, go learn on a river. Pressure makes diamonds.
Oh.
Yep, something ate him. So wind tight, and as soon as you feel the tension, yank back on him really hard. There we go. He's on there. Keep the tension on him.
I got something! Oh my goodness, I'm so excited.
Beautiful.
Yay!
Awesome.
Can I hold it?
Absolutely. So the easiest way to hold these guys, just stick your thumb on his tongue and pinch really tight.
Oh, I hit myself first.
It's all good. I've been hooked everywhere.
Wait, do what?
Stick your thumb on his tongue, pinch really tight.
Okay.
He can't bite you, there's no teeth.
Okay.
Pinch really tight. Beautiful.
So I caught my first fish, guys. Oh my goodness.
So this is a black crappie.
Okay.
They're known by a million different names wherever you go in the country. Calico bass. Some people call them paper mouths because you can see how thin their mouth is.
Yeah.
But we get amazing ones in the Poconos. Here in this lake, the average crappie throughout the country is about 8 inches long. We get them over 16 inches pretty commonly. So we have big ones in this lake, and they do really well through the months of April and May.
Oh my goodness. They're very pretty.
Yeah, they have these beautiful blue incandescent colors through them.
Kind of slimy, a little slimy. So like when you obviously catch and release here in the Poconos, does it hurt them?
Very little. So most of the fish that we target have cartilaginous mouths. I struggle with that word, but it's mostly cartilage and very few nerve endings. So it's mostly just a pressure sense for them. So it doesn't bother them too much.
I'm so excited.
And I think we might have another one that just ate this thing.
Do I just toss it back in?
Yeah, you just gently set her over the side. That's a female. You can see she's all swole up with eggs right now. She'll lay those in a couple of weeks.
She's my new friend. So I'm going to gently put her back in the water.
Yes, ma'am.
There you go, sweetie. Bye. Thanks for playing.
And I think something just ate this one as well. So there you go. Get 2 fish. 2 for 1 deal. Oh, what do we got? Something different. Yes, this is a yellow perch. This is one of the most common fish in the Poconos. They're a native species here. See, this one has had a run-in with like an eagle or something. Something took a bite out of him.
Oh, wow.
Her,
okay.
another female.
Another female.
This one is late. These guys lay their eggs in like February. She probably just still all expanded. There's nothing in there. But beautiful yellow perch. And I'll show you how to hold these guys because they have these spikes here and spikes there for like their defense.
So they're going to feel it?
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, they are spiky.
Yeah.
So depending on the fish that you catch, you should be cognizant of how you're grabbing them.
Absolutely, yeah. And certain fish are more hardy than others. So, like we can kind of, I don't want to say be rough on any of these guys because you would never want to, undoingly hurt something. But trout, you have to be very careful how you hold them. These guys are incredibly hardy.
What makes the Poconos stand apart from fishing somewhere else?
So a number of reasons. The first thing that comes to mind is our natural waterways. So we have tons of, we have the Lehigh River, which has hundreds and hundreds of tributaries, and they're all cold spring-fed streams that support wild trout throughout them all year round. Other places in Pennsylvania, don't support wild fish. A lot of the fish are stocked and then they'll die soon after. Our fish here, live for years in these rivers, and that's strictly because of cold, clean water that is found pretty exclusively in the Poconos, in the mountains, that is.
Yeah. So why would you tell a visitor to come to the Poconos?
If you want a true fishing experience, if you want fishing for real fish that are meant to be there, in a beautiful environment, the Poconos is a place to be for sure.
Yeah. I would have to agree with you because I feel like even though this is my first time, I would definitely do it again.
Awesome.
So Joey, earlier we were on the boat trying to catch some bass. We caught, what did we catch?
Those are crappie, black crappie.
Okay. So now we are in the river.
Yes. Looking for trout.
Looking for trout, learning how to fly fish.
Yep. 3 different species of trout. We have rainbows, browns, and brook trout in Pennsylvania. That's pretty much it. There are some other fish in here, but that's what we're looking for today.
Now, what are some techniques you can tell me?
So right now what I have you doing, this is called swinging. You use it when you're using a fly that represents a small minnow or like a larger bug. And we kind of just cast directly across the stream. So you're going to pick that up and go 90 degrees across from you. And then as that fly line drifts down the river, it will kind of enter where we think those trout are sitting. As the fly turns and swings back upriver, that's a perfect cast. Doesn't look like it, but just give it a little flick down and you'll be good.
Okay.
It's called a mend. When the line isn't in the perfect spot, you just give it one little flick.
Kind of to make the fish think it's alive?
Exactly,
Okay.
yeah. So the mend can be for a multitude of reasons, whether it be just to move your fly a little bit to, like you said, make a fish think he's alive, or even to just put it into a better little bit of river, like a little seam of water that's not flowing as fast. You're going to pick that thing up, go 90 degrees across, and as it swings down, it's going to enter in front of where we think those trout are sitting at. And when it turns in front of them, hopefully they grab it. We've already had 2 eat right there, so I'm sure there's a whole bunch more sitting in there.
So what else can you tell me about trout fishing in the Poconos?
Yeah, absolutely. So I was just saying before, we're very fortunate since a lot of our streams here are clean water and cold enough. They're either spring-fed or limestone streams that are cold enough. They can support wild trout reproduction. So a lot of places in Pennsylvania don't have wild trout. They're all stocked fish. A lot of our rivers in the Poconos are stocked, but a lot of them also can support wild trout, which is it's a very beautiful thing being able to go after a fish that was born in that river and is meant to live there.
Mm-hmm. Now, what's the difference between, you were telling me, wild and hatchery?
Yeah, so stocked fish come from the hatchery. They were essentially raised on a farm. Pennsylvania has a hatching program. We have hundreds of state-run hatcheries that are funded from your fishing license.
Yeah.
So they introduce trout into the water, and then in addition to that, some of the trout will reproduce on their own. That can only happen in a clean, cold environment like this. So some of these fish were born here, and that's a wild fish. That's the difference between a hatchery-raised fish.
So why is fly fishing so popular with people that love fishing?
So first and foremost, it's a beautiful thing, and it's truly beautiful. I mean, look where we are right now. I know you guys can't hear it, people who are listening, you can't see it, people who are listening at home. But we are on a beautiful, crystal clear creek here. It's a tributary to the Lehigh River, which is a popular fishing spot in the Poconos. And we are in pristine wilderness. In the last couple of years, fly fishing has had a huge boost in popularity because it's been featured in a lot of media. I get a lot of people that call me and they go, "Hey, I watched Yellowstone and I want to learn how to fly fish."
Yeah.
Or, "Hey, I watched the Ozarks and they fly fished and it looked really cool." And part of that is you can only fly. We have a saying in fly fishing, it's that trout don't live in ugly places.
Yeah.
So we are here in one of the prettiest places you can be, standing in a river fishing. And I think that's what draws so many people to it.
No, I think it's beautiful. And I was just standing waiting till we got in the river. It's like just the sound of the water, the scenery, the beautiful sky, the tree. It's like you can't get anything better.
It's everything you could need. You know?
Yeah.
But yeah, you're absolutely right. In fly fishing, there has been a huge uptick in younger generations being interested in it. I think that a lot of people were put off by their grandfather's form of fishing, whether he was sitting on a bucket with worms. And I think that, this new generation who wants to be really involved, they want to be in tune with the equipment they're using. They want to be in tune with what people are doing online. Fly fishing connects with them more, whether you are 70 years old, whether you're 16, whether you're black, white, brown, whatever, male or female, everybody's got a place in fly fishing.
Is there an age limit? Like, can anyone fish? Or...
I'll bring anybody that's capable out with me. I always tell, when parents call and ask if their kid can come, I say that's up to their discretion, because it's not going to bother me none if they're having a hard time with it. But, I've taught kids as young as 4 to catch fish with a fly rod. So
I feel like it makes you, especially when it's beautiful like this, like why wouldn't you want to do it?
Yeah. And that's, part of me having multiple aspects to my guide service is that I have something for everybody. People call me all the time and they say, I want to teach my child to fly fish. I said, well, I've got a great opportunity for him to learn on crappies or bass, and then we can take him over to the river and teach him to catch some trout.
I feel like it's known mostly, I would say, as like a male sport.
Yeah.
So I feel like I wanted to come try it today as a female to like bring the ladies to like do more fun activities like this, because I feel like, I don't know if you got many ladies coming to do, fishing trips, but it's definitely something we can do.
Yeah.
And it's fun. So, and it's pretty, listen, there's definitely a learning curve, but I feel like it's pretty easy.
Yes. And you're absolutely correct. I don't get, most of my calls aren't for women wanting to learn how to fly fish. It definitely exists. One of my favorite fellow guides is a full-time fishing guide, is a female. But you're correct. Most of the time when I have women come out with me, it's because their boyfriend made the booking or their dad wanted them to learn. And the only thing I have to say in that regards is the fish have no idea, what race, gender, or whatever you are. They just care if you present the fish to the fly to them the right way.
No, I've had a blast today. Like, I thank you for taking me out on the boat. Thanks for bringing me to the water. I know we're going to hang out a little bit longer to see if I can catch something. But I appreciate you taking the time to, give Pocono Television Network a chance to try. So
and thank you so much for coming out with me. I appreciate it.
So again, we're here with Joe from Captain Joe's Fishing. I'm Deanna Fontanez, and we'll see you on our next adventure.
Captain Joe's Fishing and Waterman Services, available to help you find the best fishing locations around Lake Harmony and the Pocono Mountains. Head to PoconoMountains.com to learn more. Thanks for listening to Pocono Mountains Podcast. We'll have a new episode each week highlighting lots of the fun things you can experience while you're visiting the Poconos. Subscribe and leave a review and/or comment on whatever platform you listen.
The Kalahari Food and Not Just Wine Festival is coming Sunday, May 19th to the Pocono Mountains. Savor bites from the best of Kalahari dining, sip beverages, enjoy live entertainment, and more. Get tickets today at KalahariResorts.com/tickets.
We're back. Thanks for listening to Pocono Mountains Podcast. I'm Jim Hamill. Also coming up on the May edition of Pocono Mountains Magazine, a visit to Dorflinger Sudam Wildlife Sanctuary. It's in White Mills between Honesdale and Hawley, and it's steeped with history about the glass industry there. Plus, 600 acres of nature, including hiking trails and a very special live music venue for its summer wildflower concert series. We recently spoke with the executive director, Christine, on a gorgeous spring day. Enjoy. Hi, folks. Jim Hamill here on a gorgeous spring day here alongside this beautiful setting at Dorflinger Sudam Wildlife Sanctuary. I'm here with the executive director, Christine. Thanks for joining us here on Pocono Mountains Podcast. What a special place this is. Can you give us just the synopsis of what you guys have here? Because there's a lot that goes on at Dorflinger.
Well, thank you for being here today. And we have 600 acres of pristine, preserved land. That's the point of the wildlife sanctuaries, to preserve it for the future generations to come. But along with that 600 acres, we've got about 5 miles of hiking trails. We do a summer concert series for 8 concerts in the summer, 7 to 8 concerts. We have a glass museum, which debuts the glasswork of Christian Dorflinger, and a gift shop that focuses predominantly on American-made glassware.
And I'll tell you, Christine, my family's been coming up here to the Wildflower Concert Series many years. A lot of people, that's their favorite thing that they look forward to each year, because it's such a picturesque setting, but also like so affordable, so reachable and accessible. And then it's just the I'd call it the feel that you get when you're here. It's tucked away just outside of Honesdale, Hawley, White Mills, and like you said, it's serene and it's preserved here too. And that's probably the mission of what this wildlife sanctuary is to preserve this for so many years to come.
Correct. It's a hidden gem in White Mills. A lot of people don't know we're here. And when they discover it, while they want to share it, they don't want to tell everybody about it. They want to tell their few closest friends, but they almost are afraid to share it because they don't want it to become spoiled.
Yeah, it's something that has over the years been caretaken for. I know the grounds crews here work overtime to make this so well groomed and preserved in that way. You could see these trees; they've been here for generations. And the glass museum, that's a part of history here. There was a lot of glass manufacturing that took place in the White Mills, Hawley-Honesdale area, a century or more ago. And that really did kind of help, provide for families and wages. And the whole village of White Mills was really based on the Dorflinger factory and all that it produced there, right? And went worldwide.
It is. It was definitely something that came to America and crossed America with the craftsmanship and the ware that came out of this little town of White Mills. Most people don't realize the artisans that were in the area and that were brought in, and then many of them stayed in the White Mills area and have family that worked here at Dorflinger at this factory or at the factory down the road. And their families are deeply rooted in this area, and they may go away. They may choose to winter in other places, but they always come back to this area in the summers, and they always come back to Dorflinger for the music series. We have people who've been coming for 20, 30 years, and they're now bringing their children, their grandchildren. It's a generational experience.
We're about to hop into the museum where you have a group of volunteers helping out with the cleaning of glass. So I know that Hank will kind of speak to that a little bit, but this place does not exist without those volunteers, right?
We have about 120 volunteers. That we have a volunteer coordinator, and she is amazing. What she does is I can't imagine anybody else doing. She coordinates all the volunteers for the museum and the gift shop, as well as most of the concert series is run by volunteers, and she coordinates them as well. And I always like to say it's kind of like herding cats, because she has to be sure that everybody's in their place at the right time doing the job that they know how to do.
So you guys are a nonprofit. You're supported by donations, no doubt.
That's correct.
But you also have a gift shop here too, where people can really have access to some fine glass products here that maybe not are made here. Obviously, this is not a manufacturing base, but there's a lot of like local or regional artists too who use glass. And so you were able to feature those here for people to take with them after they learn a little bit in the glass museum.
We do. The glass shop it's very unique in that it focuses mostly on American-made glassware. We try to bring in glass from everywhere from Alaska and Hawaii to right down in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania. I'm always trying to search for particular glass from Pennsylvania. Those artisans deserve recognition, and what better place than on a glass factory in a glass museum with a glass gift shop. We have a fine assortment of beautiful jewelry, both affordable and showpiece wear, and then accessories and giftware, housewares, a little bit for everybody.
It's a really beautiful day out here too, and you must just pinch yourself as you've been here for a little while now, seeing the fall season, seeing the winter season, of course, but now to see the rebirth here at this property of all the beautiful flowers, the birds and the buzzing out there. It's really a spectacular natural setting, but steeped in so much history.
The history is great, and you mentioned the birds. This spring was definitely exciting to be here this spring. We have so many migratory flocks that come through. We had red-winged blackbirds here a couple weeks ago. You could barely stand outside and have a conversation. They were so loud, and they just covered the trees out here. And they were here for one afternoon, and they were gone. It was maybe 2 hours, and the flocks just picked up and left. We have some geese that are nesting nearby. I see them almost every day. Yeah. No, the wildlife is wonderful. I have a herd of deer that come through my front window every day. I get to watch them in the evening and in the mornings. The wildlife is beautiful. Everything about being here just promotes beauty, serenity, peace, and you feel steeped in history. You get to enjoy that you're a part of something. While you're a small part of something, you're part of something much larger.
I love that. Yeah, this is a a very special place. Where can people find out more about Dorflinger Sudam Wildlife Sanctuary and the Glass Museum and the shop?
We have a website, dorflinger.org. That pretty much covers everything for all of our sites, and we'll help link you up to the gift shop, and the museum have their own site, and so does the Wildflower series. But dorflinger.org will take you to all of those. Within those sites, you can find out information will be posted soon for the concert series.
Right.
You can find out the hours for the museum and gift shop. And you can also become a member to Dorflinger, which gives you membership to come enjoy all of our trails anytime for free, along with some small discounts along the way to make your visit all that much better.
So it's supported by donations, membership, of course, the volunteers who come out in droves like today. So you're thinking, what is preserved here and what has sustained for so many years has many more years of the same beauty and history preserved here for generations to come.
We can only hope to continue to preserve, and it is through our donations and our members and volunteers that are able to maintain this. I mean, our groundskeepers work very hard to maintain the property. We work very hard to maintain a wildlife and just a natural setting through the trees and not cut things down unless it's necessary for the preservation of other areas. We don't allow hunting or fishing. That helps preserve everything throughout the property. And like I said, to be able to come in and just sit and watch the birds. We have a lot of people who like to come in and paint. They like to sit in various places, such as where I'm sitting right now, and do picturesque paintings. You'll see some of them around the property. We have some in some of our buildings. And a lot of those paintings get used in our brochures and on our ads for advertising.
All right. Christine, Executive Director here at Dorflinger Sudam Wildlife Sanctuary, the Glass Museum, the Wildflower Concert Series happening this year and each and every year. Thanks for joining us here on the podcast. Looking forward to spending some time up here with the kiddos, the wife, and a lot of the community and visitors to the area.
Thank you for having me.
Sure thing. The Dorflinger Sudam Wildlife Sanctuary, complete with a Glass Museum, gift shop, extensive hiking trail system, and the amphitheater with a full slate of concerts coming up this season. We hope you enjoyed Pocono Mountains podcast. Please remember to subscribe anywhere podcasts are available. Come visit us in the Pocono Mountains. Plan your trip today.